صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for attending tonight's program. Inshallah, as we're closing in on the final week of this Ramadan series lectures, we would like to begin, of course, by reminding a couple of points. Number one, the feedback. For those that have been attending the lectures, we, of course, always want to make sure we're improving and taking in feedback. So there's going to be a form that we've sent in the group chat, as well as a flyer, QR code that you can scan for that. So that will be much appreciated. As well as, of course, a reminder about the food donations. We have the plastic bins near the entrances for non-perishable food items. Again, that's much appreciated as well. And we also have, today, of course, there will be a Sahra night. So encourage your youth to attend, as we will be having a Sahra night and sit down with the Sheikh Hamam, where we can go one-on-one with the youth to be able to have a more open discussion without the parents. And finally, two more points. One is that on Saturday, we will be having Sayyid Mekki for an interesting program that will involve a collaboration with AHY youth, where we will be talking about the remembrance of death, as well as for the youth, especially how to approach marriage, especially in the Western society, how should we be approaching it. So those are going to be not to be missed as well. And the final point is that that one is going to be after Salat al-Dhuhr, so just a reminder about that one. And the final point is that tonight we'll be having a presentation by Cell Academy, so around 7:40 p.m. inshallah. So with that, please welcome Sheikh Hamam Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Brothers and sisters in Islam, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In yesterday's lecture, we shed more light on the fourth segment of Dua Ya Udati, where we call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, Wa ya ghayati fi raghbati, O He who is my goal as I pursue what I like or what I desire. We mentioned that it is extremely important to make our lives God-centered, as in to attach every single activity that we perform in our life to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to intend that we want to seek nearness, we want to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through whatever we may be doing. Last but not least, we shed light on certain traits of Imam al-Hasan alayhi salatu wasalam. And we mentioned that one of the traits mentioned by his grandson, Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, was that whenever Imam al-Hasan was seen by anyone, he would be remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He'd be mindful of God, remembering and or mentioning the Almighty Azza wa Jal. Such are the Imams of Ahlul Bayt, salamullahi alayhim. Their lives are God-centered. Whatever they do is for Allah Today, inshallah, we're going to continue where we left off with Dua Ya Udati. After saying وَيَا غَايَتِي فِي رَغْبَتِي, the Imam says, أَنْتَ السَّاتِرُ عَوْرَتِي. You are the one, O Allah, who conceals my defects. This segment also reminds us of a beautiful blessing that Allah Ta'ala bestows upon us. The blessing of concealed blessing. Imagine how our lives would be if there were no clothes. How embarrassed would the human being be from other human beings when he's not wearing any clothes? Some people possibly might not leave their homes because they're too embarrassed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sattar and sittir. He conceals in abundance. He conceals abundantly. And so He creates the material needed to fabricate clothes, and on top of that teaches us how to make clothes. That is a huge blessing, but again, it's a blessing concerning physical concealment. Then again, Allah Azza wa Jal bestows spiritual concealment on us. How so? Well, when we transgress, when we disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah Azza wa Jal keeps our sins secret. He doesn't expose us. I, the worthless slave, disobey my master. After disobeying him, he conceals me, although he's able to expose me. For example, Allah Ta'ala is able to create some sort of screen through which people witness what I did. He's able to do so. He's able to, for example, put a sign on my forehead, or my head, or my body, saying this person just sinned. But he doesn't. He doesn't. He conceals us, Azza wa Jal. This is a blessing. It's a blessing for which we should thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abundantly. Thus you find that in the supplications of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, Ahlul Bayt teach us to ask Allah Azza wa Jal not to expose us on the day of judgment. They teach us to tell Allah Azza wa Jal, Ya Allah, just as you concealed me in this finite world, conceal me in the hereafter. Don't expose me in front of the witnesses on that day, in front of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, the angels, the believers and the disbelievers. Don't expose me, Ya Allah. So when the Imam says, Anta satiru awrati, he's reminding us of these two types of concealments, the physical concealment and the spiritual one. Then he says, وَالْمُقِيلُ عَثَرَتِي, أنت الساتر عورتي, والمؤمن رواتي. والمؤمن رواتي. We will get to the third word. He says, والمؤمن رواتي. Ya Allah, you are the one who relieves my apprehensions. Meaning, when I experience fear, you calm me down. You instill reassurance in my heart. Sometimes, my brothers and sisters, we experience worldly fears. For example, we tend to worry about the future. What's going to happen in the future? Yes, the human being worries about the future because the future is unpredictable, correct? It's unpredictable. It's filled with secrets and mysteries. You truly don't know what Allah has written for you in the divine decree. You don't know. And for that reason, you feel anxious at times when you think about the future. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through Al-Quran or through Ahlul Bayt sallallahu alayhim, removes that anxiety. He calms you down. For example, He tells you in the Quran that He's with you, meaning He will support you. وَكَانَ حَقًّا عَلَيْنَا نَصْرُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. He tells you that I, Allah, place a right for you on myself You have a right on me. What's my right, Ya Allah? He says that it was the right of the believers on us that we support. He says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُدَافِعُ عَنِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Surely Allah defends those who believe. He teaches you what to say when you're afflicted with a tragedy. Because as we said previously, in multiple lectures, this world is a world of sadness and happiness. In better terms, it's a mixture of sadness and happiness. A mixture of ease and difficulty. Definitely there will be a day where you will experience some sort of sadness, some sort of discomfort. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you in the Quran what to say at that moment. He teaches you a statement, the statement of istirja, which truly comforts the human. Inna to him. So if you're going through misery at the moment, if you're going through some sort of hardship, know that the hardship is temporary. Once you die, you will leave that hardship behind you, and it will come to an end. In fact, in many cases, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will relieve you of that hardship before you die. Hence, He says in another verse, when He speaks about Yaqub and his children, when Yaqub alayhi salam experiences the peak of his test. Yaqub went through many trials, or several trials, and some were very difficult. When his trials reached their peak, what does he tell his children? He says, لا تيأسوا من روح الله. Do not lose hope in Allah's salvation. إنه لا ييأس من روح الله إلا القوم الكافرون. Surely only those who disbelieve lose hope in Allah's salvation. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relieves us from worldly fears. But then again, sometimes you might experience fear because you're afraid of what will happen to you in the hereafter, in al-akhirah. For example, we sin, and we know that we deserve punishment for the sin. We're unsure whether we have been forgiven or not. For that reason, we experience fear. Is that fear good? Yes, it is. As long as it does not lead you to despair. Fear is needed. We always have to be fearful of God subhanahu wa ta'ala. But not to the point where we lose hope. Not to the point where our lives become completely miserable. Allah Azza wa Jalla tells you, I want you to fear me. But I also want you to remember that I am the all-merciful, the all-forgiving. If you think of the verses in the Quran that speak about mercy and forgiveness, you're going to be, thinking of many verses. There are plenty of verses in the Quran that shed light on Allah's forgiveness, Allah's mercy, Allah's generosity. One of which is, quote, Ya Udati Lecture على أنفسهم. He tells the Prophet, tell them, Ya Rasulullah, that I, Allah, address them. O my slaves who have crossed their limits and done injustice to themselves. لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله. Do not lose hope in Allah's mercy. إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا. Surely Allah forgives all sins. إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. Surely He is the all-forgiving, the all-merciful. If you repent from your sin, or whatever the sin may be, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts you. Allah forgives you. This relieves you when you hear it, when you hear the verse, or you read it and understand it. It truly relieves you from certain forms of, anxiety or fear pertaining to what? Pertaining to the world of the hereafter. Hence, Imam Sajjad alayhi afdal salatu wassalam says in Dua Abi Hamza Thulani, he says, إذا رأيت ذنوبي إذا رأيت مولاي ذنوبي فزاد وإذا رأيت كرمك طمعت. Says, my master your generosity, I become greedy. I want to attain your mercy. And I know that you are willing to forgive all sins, Ya Allah. So the Imam says, alayhi salam, وَالْمُؤْمِنُ رَوْعَتِي, you are the one who calms me down when I experience fear, Ya Allah. وَالْمُقِيلُ عَثَرَتِي, and you are the one who overlooks my slips. As in sometimes, Ya Allah, I trip, I slip, I sin. What happens after? Not only is He willing to forgive, He is the one who lifts you. You've slipped. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lifts you and tells you, rise and fix your mistake. He is the one who inspires you to repent. He is the one who bestows mercy upon you after what? After sinning. So you may come back to Him. You may repent and fix your mistake. Had it not been for His tawfiq, for His godly aid which He bestows upon you after the sin, you would not have repented to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or tell Him, why? So you may be successful. He reminds us of Tawbah. He calls us to His forgiveness. If you remember in the first lecture, throughout this blessed series, we were dissecting the verse which says, سَابِقُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ. He says, subhanahu wa ta'ala, rush and try to advance others in what? In reaching Allah's forgiveness. Azza wa Jalla. So after you sin, or after I sin, what does He do? He doesn't terminate us. Although He has the power to do so, right? When I sin, He has the power to crush me like a bug. He can do it. He has the power to end my life and send me to Jahannam. But Allah Ta'ala is Halim. He's very patient. He gives you time. Because you were not created for punishment. You were created for mercy. He gives you time, and then He inspires you to repent, so you may fix your mistake. How merciful is He? Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Truly He is the all-merciful, the all-forgiving. He wants us to repent. And for that reason, He teaches us repentance. Listen to the following narration by our beloved Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The book جامع أحاديث الشيعة for Sayyid Rujuri rahmatullah alayh. The Sayyid cites the book تنبيه الخواطر. The Prophet in that book is narrated to have said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, أكثروا من الاستغفار. Seek forgiveness from Allah in abundance. Then He says, إن الله لم يعلمكم الاستغفار إلا وهو يريد أن يغفر لكم. He says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught you istighfar for one reason. That is, He wants to forgive you. He taught you how to seek forgiveness because He wants to forgive you. That is the all-merciful. After saying, وَالْمُقِيلُ عَثْرَتِي أَنْتَ سَاتِرُ عَوْرَتِي وَالْمُؤْمِنُ رَوَعَتِي وَالْمُقِيلُ عَثْرَتِي. The Imam says, فَاغْفِرْ لِي خَطِيئَتِي. Ya Allah, You are the one who conceals my defects. You are the one who calms me down when I'm afraid. You are the one who lifts me, who gives me the spiritual uplift I need after I slip, after I sin. Thus I ask You to forgive me. Because one who does all of those deeds, He conceals your defects, He calms you down when you're afraid, He lifts you after you fall, after you slip. That being is truly the being who can forgive you. So forgive my sin, O Allah. These traits, my brothers and sisters, are traits that give us more insight on who Allah is. And they increase our love for Allah. The more we learn about Him subhanahu wa ta'ala through his words, the words of the Quran, or the words of Ahlul Bayt sallallahu alayhi, the more love we will have for Allah. Hence, one of the best ways to strengthen your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is merely reading the supplications of Ahlul Bayt and dissecting their words when they describe God. Look at Sahib al-Zaman, Ajal Ta'ala Farajahu al-Sharif. How does he describe Allah Ta'ala in Dua al-Iftibah? He describes him in the most beautiful manner. If you dissect his description of God, Azza wa Jal, it will leave a beautiful effect on you. Definitely it will increase your love towards Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. However, a lot of us humans might feel some sort of internal love towards God. I'm not talking about Muslims specifically, people in general. A lot of us might feel some sort of internal love towards Allah. But Allah tells us that internal love is not enough. That internal love is not enough. I want you to turn that internal love into external love. As in, I want you to translate it into action. If you remember in the past lectures we mentioned that it doesn't make sense to say, I love you, Ya Allah, but I won't believe in you. Ya Allah, I love you, but I will not follow your prophet or your vicegerents. Ya Allah, I love you, but I don't love your laws. I don't love your teachings. Ya Allah, I love you, but I don't want to follow your path. There's a clear contradiction here. If someone truly loves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then his love should be translated into what? Into the actions that please God. Look at people who fell in love with fellow human beings, with a particular individual, a particular fallible human being. For example, in the Arabic world we hear a lot about Qais and Layla, Majnun Layla. What happened to Qais when he fell in love with Layla? When he had profound love towards Layla? They call him Majnun Layla, the madman of Layla. That word is enough to tell you of what happened to him when he fell in love with her. When you love someone, when you truly love someone, you will love everything about that individual. You love the way they talk. You love the way they behave. You love their scent. You love their homes because they reside there. Let me give you a clear example on this regard. When we look at the Shias, when they visit Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wassalam, what do you see? You find that the Shias, the believers, they kiss the graves of the infallibles, correct? And you'll find some of them kissing the floor of the shrine. Others kissing the walls. Why? Why? Because they love Ahlul Bayt. They love the person who's buried there. Sallallahu alayhi. Because the infallible is buried there, it's his shrine. The shrine is his. And because the shrine is his, they love the shrine. So the love of the infallible leads them to committing these actions or these gestures. Allah tells us, do you love me? Ultimately, a lot of people will say yes. Allah says, prove your love. How do I prove it, Ya Allah? Surah Al-Imran tells you. Verse 31. قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِ يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ. Say, O Messenger of Allah, tell them, if you truly love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you truly have love for God, then follow me. Who's me? Muhammad bin Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. Then follow me. يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ وَيَغْفِرْ لكم ذنوبكم. If you love me, if you follow me, sorry, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will love you. If you follow Rasulullah, then you will be performing the deeds that please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you're performing the deeds that please Him, why would He love you? At that point He will love you, He'll honor you, He'll reward you, and He'll bring you closer to Him by removing certain blockages that exist in your soul. See, when we sin, when we transgress, we disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what happens? These sins cause certain blockages. Call them spiritual blockages. These spiritual blockages make us distant from God subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, when you obey Him and when you repent, He removes these blockages. When they're removed, what happens? You start seeing Allah Azza wa Jalla, but not with your physical eye, because Allah is not physical. He's not limited. He's not made up of matter. Rather, you see Him with your spirit, with your soul. Again, it's a spiritual sight, not a physical one. So the person who translates his love into action, he translates the internal love into external love. By following Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he becomes Allah's Habib. He becomes Allah's beloved. Because he becomes Allah's beloved, Allah does what? He forgives his sins. Allah says, يحببكم الله ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم. يحببكم الله ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم. He forgives your sins. He removes the blockages, and on top of that, He bestows mercy upon you and leads you to the abode of peace, the abode of absolute mercy, the abode of absolute comfort. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have more words to say, but our time is up, so I'll stop here. Tomorrow, inshallah, we'll continue with this vital topic regarding the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Mustafa Muhammad wa alihi al-tahirin.
زادك الله علما وتقوى. الحسين ثالثة يرحمكم الله.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم جميعا. I am the principal of Silm Academy. Silm Academy is a new Islamic school, Shia school in Richmond Hill. We established Silm Academy 2020, and this year we have 30 students, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, and next year at least we will have, inshallah, 50 students. The story behind Silm Academy is when I decided to enroll my own daughter, to a salih, and Waliul asked, she was in the waiting list for 2 years, and I was a member of the board in As-Salih myself, and I was a full-time teacher in Waliul Asr, grade 10, but they didn't have a spot for my daughter. That's why, after consulting with Maulana Rifri, we decided to establish a new school for Shia students in Toronto, because as you know, we have only 5 schools. We have As-Salih, which is the first